Welcome to the Militia gaming community. I'm Trigger, and this is my summit guide for the Dodge ADDICT Summit in the Crew 2. Let's go! My goal with these summit guides is to prepare you to earn platinum rewards every single week. That's why I put out this video before the summit goes live. I purchase all the summit cars and run all of the events beforehand so you don't have to. I'm not claiming to be the best in the world, but my advice is very good for the average player. Alright, let's get into it. First up is the Columbia Basin Escape. This escape is best completed using a drag car. I do not have a fully leveled up drag car yet, but with my pro settings, which I will share with you in just a moment, I managed to land myself in the top 200 despite the car not being fully leveled. I definitely think I can improve my run, but I will let this entire clip play so that you can see the route. Basically, you take this freeway towards the salt flats and then try to keep the circle at your back going across the flats. This one isn't very technical, so the faster your drag car is, the better you'll do. I'm using the Corvette Stingray, and my pro settings look like this. Next up is the New York Airport Slalom. I'll be using my Pagani Zonda for this slalom, as I generally do better with it than any other option for pavement slaloms like this. You will need to practice the path, as this is a very big factor in your success, but as far as parts go, you need to make sure you have a full set of score breaker parts with the affix stat skilled. I would recommend you use a slower vehicle that has these parts rather than a faster vehicle that does not. It is absolutely necessary in order to get a high score on this event. My Zonda Pro settings are like this. Next up is the big Land Speedtrap. This speed trap is very simple. Back up using your drag car of choice, obviously mine is the Corvette Stingray, and then time your NOS so that it runs out just before the speed trap. 330 should be enough to get 100,000 points. It usually is in these summits, but if you're looking for an edge, you can have a friend help you by driving in front of you to allow you to slipstream them and get a few extra miles per hour. My pro settings for the Stingray again look like this. Next up is the Ghost Road Rallycross event using the Charger RT Hemi. There aren't any shortcuts in this event, so it will come down to your driving skill and your car's parts. Nitro Chemist is strongly recommended in this event, as well as Pure and Pump as your affix stats. I managed a time close to the top 100 without those parts with the Charger RT Hemi, which we all know is not the fastest rally car. My pro settings for the Charger are like this. Next up is the Downtown LA East Street Race using the Challenger SRT Demon. There are two shortcuts that you're going to want to memorize. At 11%, you're going to cut this corner tight and go through both of these alleyways. Then at 29%, you're going to hit the jump that's in this tunnel, and when you land, you'll go straight towards the end of this street and make a sweeping right-hand turn. You'll go through the parking lot and then continue with the next right-hand turn on the regular path from there. And that's really it for the cuts on this race. Just make sure you do it again on lap number 2. My Challenger SRT Demon Pro settings look like this. Next up is the Airport Terminal E Drift event using the Challenger SRT8 392 drift car. Without turning this into a full-on drift clinic, I would say that you should definitely shoot for not dropping your multiplier the entire event. If you can do this, you can do the whole event without dropping your multiplier, and you have the slippery affix stat, your score will be very good. If you can't, your score will definitely suffer, but I recommend slowing down as much as you can. Don't hold the gas down the entire time. Once you enter a drift, allow the car to slide naturally. Only if you need speed to make it around a corner or through a straight should you gas it. As long as the car is sliding with an angle, you will keep your multiplier. The other tip is that if you have to swing back and forth to keep your multiplier going and to gain speed again, do it. Don't worry about drifting the turns perfectly. Try your best to make it perfect, but if you can't, the multiplier is more important to keep than it is to make the drift look good. So keep the multiplier throughout the entire event. That should be the goal for this event. My Challenger SRT8 Pro settings are like this. Next up is the White Mountain Dirt Race, which is a demolition derby event that you will be forced to use a monster truck on because this is the crossover for this summit. The truck you will have to use is the Challenger SRT8 392. Now, since this video is being made before the summit releases, I can't show you my exact run, but here is some footage of me practicing the course. This race is pretty straightforward, but I do recommend making the cut up this hill. It saves you a lot of time going around the corner and will shave seconds off of your run. It will be interesting to see how the spinning obstacles play into this event since the monster truck is so wide going down these roads. I'm actually looking forward to this event quite a bit. My Challenger Monster Truck Pro settings look like this. Next is the South Beach Drag Race using the SRT Viper GTS drag car. Drag racing is very unique in that it forces you to shift the gears and launch. In the beginning, you'll need to burn your tires by keeping the meter in the green. To successfully launch, you need to remain at idle, and then a split second before the final light turns on, you will go full throttle. Then make sure you're shifting on time. Perfect shifting and early shifting are the fastest ways to get down the track, and using NOS the second you shift into fifth is recommended. My SRT Viper Pro settings look like this. And the last event is the Golden Hills Racetrack Touring Car event using the Charger SRT8. This event is going to depend on your skills as a driver. There are no shortcuts as this race is on the track, but I do recommend using my pro settings because they help the back end of the car stay planted for the most part without taking away too much in the turns.
All right, I guess every little piece was in place.
Here are my pro settings for the Charger SRT8 touring car. And that's it for this one, guys. If you have any questions, don't forget you can hit me up on Instagram or Twitter. My DMs are always open. Thank you so much for watching, and shout out to all the Militia subs. I'll catch you on the next one. Trigger out. And should shave, oh my god, should shave seconds. Should shave seconds.